So, hello friends, this is Deep Narayan Singh. How are you? I hope all of you are very good. I am ready with another lecture on text file handling question solution. That is a definite question being asked in part C of your sample question paper and in your final board exam for 3 marks. So, one part we have already discussed. Those who are coming directly to the part 2, just go and see the part 1 of it. Okay, so this is the question that we are going to discuss. Write a function that counts and displays the number of 5 letters word in a text file that is called sample.txt. So think over that. What I want to count all the 5 letter words. So how many letters? 1 2 3 4 5 6. So this will not come. Is there any 5 letter word? Okay, right. So 1 2 3 4 5. So such type of word I want in my the number of such type of words I want to be displayed or in from my function. Okay, so how can we do that? First we read the content. Okay, and after reading, if there is any way I can split this particular text on the basis of space, so what I will get? I will get a list of words. So like if I have the content like I love my country. Okay, so this is my content of the file. If I make it somehow like this, I love, okay, my country, then we can iterate over that list and check out the length of each word. If it is 5, means what? It is a 5 letter word. Very simple. So let us move ahead and see the logic, how we are approaching to the solution of that problem. First we need to write the name of the function. So we wrote def count words, and it is going to count words of, you can have any other name if it is not given in the question, but it always it is going to follow the identifier declaration rule. It should not contain any space in it. It should not have any special symbol. It should not be a keyword, and it should not start with digit. So let us open the file. Okay, so we have opened the file sample.txt. Default mode is read mode. So if you do not write the mode, automatically it takes opens the file in the read mode, which we require. We don't want to write anything into the file, and we maintain a counter to maintain a count of 5 letter words. Once we have opened the file, let us read the file and put it into a variable called line. You can have another variable name, means data or content, whatever you want. Okay, so this is just a variable. What variable line will have? Line will have the content of the file. So if it is my file content sample.txt, then this line will point or store this content inside it in the form of string, because read function returns content in the form of string. Why it is very important that we should know the return type of a function? Because if we know the return type, then only we can perform the functions on this variable. Until we know what type of data it is holding, we cannot use the functions, because we have different functions for different type of the data. Like list will have different functions like extend, insert, delete, del, clear, pop, remove. Okay, tuple will have different, string will have different. So we need to know what type of variable it is, then only we can define the type of operation we can perform on that data. Once you come to know this line is a string type, as we already know read will return a string value, then we have to split that string on the basis of space. So there is a string function called split, which takes by default delimiter as space. So it is going to split that string based on the spaces. That is what I want, and return all element of that string, all words of that string in the form of list like this. Okay, so whatever string will have words, that will become element of the list, and that list will be stored inside the words. Okay, so now you have a list of words with you. Now your job is very simple: iterate over this list. Okay, one by one, iterate over this list, find out the length of each word and compare it with, if it is equal to 5, then increment your counter, otherwise do nothing. So let us have a for loop w in words, and so it is going, w is going to assume values one by one. It will go first, take I, then love, then my, then country. Then our job is to put a if condition where I can get the word length and compare it with 5. If it is equal to 5, then we increment our counter. What will happen after this loop is executed completely? We have all such words count in C which are having length of 5. What does it mean, having length of 5? Length is equal to number of element in the sequence. So here what is the sequence? Sequence is a string. Okay, so if there is a word called write inside the w, it is going to result in length of if it is equal to w, len of w will be what? 5, because number of elements or number of characters in that string is how many? 5. So in all such, for all such words, what will happen? C value will be incremented. At the end we are going to print the count C, which says number of 5 letter words in the sample.txt is this, that many. Okay, so that's the solution. And then again we have left one statement, that is called f dot close. So you need to close the file pointer which you have opened. That's the answer which you need to write if such question comes. Then it says write the function display words in Python to display the count of words starting with T or T. I told you already that starting, now we reached already in previous question up to the words. Once we get a word, then we need to check what is there at first index of that word. Okay, so let us first write the function name. Okay, after function name, open the file or maintain a variable where we are going to maintain a count of words that are starting with small t or capital T. Here we have opened the file in read mode, and this is our file pointer. Then we read the content in a particular variable, that may be a line or anything else, but here we are taking it as line. Okay, so in that line what will happen? All the content will be available which is there in the story.txt in the form of string. Okay, so like if our file contain Python is fun or learning Python is fun, so what line will contain? Line will have this content into it. Okay, line variable will hold this content. Next we are going to split. Again it will split by default based on the space and make a list of it, and list will be stored inside words. So what words will have? Words will have like Python. Okay, Python is okay, and then fun. So this will have the words. Now you have list of words. Your job is to find the individual words out of it. Put a for loop on that. Okay, so here I put for loop on it. First time Python will come, next iteration is will come, next iteration fun is come. We're going to be stored in the w, because we are iterating over element by element on the list. Once we have a w in that first iteration, what w will have? Python. Okay, first traversing. Now what I want here, we want p value. Okay, because we want to see words are starting with T or capital T, so we want to compare that. So what I can say, w of 0 at 0th index, what is that is a starting letter of the word. If it is in small t or capital T, then we will increment the counter value which we have maintained, count plus equal to 1, and we will do that for all words, and at end we are going to print. So we can do in both the ways, like w of 0 also gives me the first word, and we will put a or operator here. We can also utilize the membership operator called in. Okay, so if w of 0 in t or capital T, or otherwise you can write like this, if w of 0 equal to t or w of 0 equal to capital T colon, then increment the counter value. Once you finish this loop, what is going to happen? You will have all such words which are starting from small t or capital T, and the count of those will be stored inside this count variable, and your job is to close the file pointer and then display the count, okay, or return the count. So what you can, either you can display the count here, print, okay, count of words which are starting with small t or capital T, and then you write what, the variable count which holds the number of such words in our file. Okay, I hope you are understanding what I am explaining. If you face any difficulty, please leave a comment. Okay, do share feedback with me so that we can improve the content. Please like and subscribe the content channel so that we can provide uh, such type of better content for you for your better preparation. Next question is, write the function in Python that counts the number of me and my words present in the text file. Again the same way, we need to go up to words. So first we read the file in the form of a string, split it into the list of words, then we compare those words. If it is me or my, then we maintain a counter and increment it. Let us see. This is the content. My first book was me and my family. It gave me a chance to know the world. So these are the content. Let us have the function name. Then we have a counter for maintaining number of me and my words. Then we open a file, story.txt in RT. By default, if you write RW or A, it means that T is understood, you are working on text file only. Next is, we have read the content and stored in the variable called n. So what n is pointing now? N is pointing to the content of the file. And what is the type of n? It is string, because what is the return type of read variable? It is string. Next is m equal to n dot split. So it is going to split these string on the basis of space and make it a list of it. So we have made a list of it, and this list will contain element as words from this particular string. Now we iterate over those words. X will contain each word by word. So first time X will contain my, then next time X will contain first, then next time, like for each iteration it is going to have a new element. Then we have, if X equal to me, this is my condition to increment the counter, or X equal to my. In both the cases we are going to print the word X and increment the counter. You don't want to print, if you don't want to print, no issue, because they are just asking the count only. So then number equal to number plus 1, it is increment. What will happen when loop will end? You will have the value in num, which is the total count of me and my words present in the file content story.txt. Now your job is to close and just print whatever you have in num, count of me and my in file, okay, and num. So I hope you are getting it. Write a function in Python that copies a text file source.txt into target.txt, barring the lines starting from at the rate sign. So just give better concentration here, because we are going to copy some content from one file and write some content into the another file. So for that purpose we need we have two files for which we have separate file pointers, one for read and one for write. So for reading a file, we will open that file in the read mode. For writing the file, we will open that file in the write mode. Let us see how the code will look like. We will have a function name first. So def filter old file and new file. So both the files pointers are supplied to us, okay, for this particular file header. Otherwise we can create a new one. Okay, so these are the file names present here, old file and new file, or you can have like source or target file. Next, fn for reading. So from old file we are going to read. Old file is equal to source file here, and new file is equal to target file here. And f out for writing. So we have two modes here for opening the file, because we want to read the content from one file and check if it is not starting with @ then we will write it. So let us try to read from fn. So while true, this is an infinite loop. Up to what point it will run? Till then it encounters the end of file. Okay, so there you see text equal to fn dot read line. It is going to read one line at a time. Remember that, very important. Read line will return text in the form of string, but it returns single line at a time, and next time it will read new line, not the same line. Okay, once you got that line in the text, now your job is to check if this line starting means zeroth index have @ sign or not. So we will check it, like if length of text equal to 0, okay, then break, because there is no line to read. Or otherwise, if it is not the case, check out at 0th index what is @ is there. Okay, then continue, don't do anything. Otherwise just write whatever there in the line. Okay, so that oh sorry, text, and write it inside. As text is a string, so we have utilized this write function, not write lines, because write lines function will write list of lines. It is going to write the directly text into the file, but we have utilized here different file pointer which is for f out. Okay, for writing purpose. And here we have utilized different file pointer which is there for reading. Okay, so this will be performed how many times? That many number of lines are present in this file called old file. Okay, once this loop is completed, what will happen? New file will contain all those lines which are not starting with @. As soon as all lines are exhausted in old file, so what read line will return? None. Okay, then or end of file, their length of the text will be 0. So what is going to happen? Break will execute and you will come out of the loop, and that is you are going to close this uh, file handle which you have opened for reading, and close the file handle which you have opened for writing. So that's it. And then we just make a function call in main function for this function filter. Okay, so this is what function called, and it is a main code. It is in main code. So they are not asking to write this function call, but still you can write, so that it is easy to run the content. Next is write a function to display those lines which start with letter S from the text file mynotes.s. Starts with letter S. We have already covered this question, but still we will see again. This is the what you are going to do. Function display or count, anything you can do. So just we have maintained a counter here. Open the file, and by default mode is what? Read mode. And then we are going to use read lines, which will give me the list of lines from my notes.txt. And then we will use for w in lines. W will have one line at a time, because line will have list of lines. Okay, so here each line is a element of that list. So here you have lines as an element of the list. If you iterate over that element by element using for loop, so what w will have? W will have first line at first time, second line in second time, third line in third time. Once you got that, now your job is to compare if it is starting with s or not. So what you will do, if w of 0 equal to s, then it is starting with s, then increment the counter or print the line, display the line. Otherwise, do nothing, go to the next line, and when this loop ends, what will happen? You will have printed all the lines which are starting from s. In the same way, you can use this write a method in Python to read lines from text file dairy.txt and display those lines which starts with alphabet uh, p. Okay, so this is also for 3 marks is given. Same way, you can just change here s to p and you will get what? All the lines which are starting from p. Okay, write a function count my in Python to read the text file, okay, and count the number of times my occurs in a file. For example, there we are counting me and my, now we are counting where my occurs in the file. So same way we have discussed the previous question. Let us see the answer of this one. Count my is the function name. We have opened the file in read mode. We have maintained a counter, and then we are going to read complete text in the form of a string using read function, and then we use split to split the string in the words based on the spaces. So delimiter by default is space for split, so it is going to split on the basis of space. So wherever space is present, like this is a different element, is it different element, my is different element, school is different element, I love to my play and study in my school. Like that, you have a different element, and they are in the form of list. This is the output of split function and stored inside words. Now your job is to iterate over those words for I in words, and I will assume one by one. I will have this is first time, then is my. So we will compare I equal to my. So if I equal to my, then we are going to increment the counter. At last we will present the output, okay, and just display how many my occurs and the variable count, and then we will print times. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for patient listening. I hope you understood these questions. If you face any difficulty, please do write me, leave a comment there. Please like and subscribe. It gives me great strength to create very good content for you, or help motivate me to make corrections and work very hard to produce good content for you people. Have a nice day.